deserve the praise. Please, you may take your seats. Some of you may not know much, especially the new generation, because maybe you're not so much into history. But we are ever grateful that God was able to raise a nation that blessed many nations. Amen. So no matter your political affiliations, remember England still has a place in God's heart. I didn't hear a big amen.
Amen.
I thought the English are not shy. Praise God. So it's good to be here once again to Apostle Ng'ambi and Minister Ng'ambi. Thank you so much. And very difficult arrangements. You've obeyed God that we should have a conference. May the Lord richly bless you.
Amen.
Thank you for spoiling me as I'm here. I enjoyed the dinner of the men yesterday. One woman who sneaked away. But I enjoyed the fellowship. Baraj is a wonderful man.
Amen.
I'll get him into Africa one of these days.
I'm on my way.
Amen. So thank you so much, and I trust that the Lord will make good your son.
Amen.
And before I leave tomorrow, he needs to be completely out of hospital.
Amen.
Amen. Do we have believers that can agree with me?
Amen.
Sealed in heaven.
Amen.
And I'm meeting a reverend and a prophet for the first time. Already a kindred heart, sweet. When you look at them, it's like you're looking at the heaven, It's and everything else. This is good. I'm grateful. I just hoped that I would have stayed. And, I'm not leaving because I've seen you. I'm leaving because I've got a wife that's missing me. So I need to go back and have a trip on Monday to another country with her to just celebrate her 40 years. Birthday. So, under instructions, no matter how God uses me, I must cut. He says, let Jesus love his church, come and love me back. So I'll be leaving tomorrow night. It's been a wonderful time from Friday, Saturday and Sunday and today.
Amen.
And I leave you in very awesome anointed hands. Their spirits are so sweet. And we've not talked even in 5 minutes, but you can relate. It's like Mary and Elizabeth, something just kicks and gels in you. Thank you so much for flying all the way to come to bless my colonizers. I can joke with them now, they are families. So it is well. I've been so blessed. I go back with a good report to my father. Concerning the work from the last time I was here to what it is becoming. Remember, in God there's no such thing as a small work. Yeah, he says do not neglect the day of small beginnings, so nothing remains the same once it has begun by God. Amen. So it is a great work. I know what you mean. When Africans have meetings, the stadium and things like that. But we are here, and I'm glad to have come. It was not under duress. I came because God said I must come. Even if it was for 2 people, I'll still have come.
Amen.
Amen. So thank you so much. And I pray the Lord will bless these efforts, and continue to do wonderful things. I have a short message that I want to teach. I don't know, on this trip I've done a lot of teaching. For a reason. Teaching establishes something. Okay, and the only reason God is establishing something is because the foundation is for strength. When there is strength, you can raise a structure, no matter how high it goes, it will be sustained. So I pray that the Lord will bless us tonight. So I'm reading from the book of John, chapter 15. Verses 1. the preacher apostle, so please time me. Yeah. Okay. In Africa, there is no time when your preacher starts. Yeah, time. We never see time. Yeah, but we are. There's a Big Ben, so I must watch Big Ben. John 15, verses 1. If you are there, shout your neighbor's name. That's my point. We should have greeted each other. All right. John 15, verse 1 says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth much fruit. God is interested in fruit. Amen. Amen. Doesn't matter how things began. After this conference is done, your life will be fruitful. Amen. Whatever you lay your hands to shall be fruitful. Amen. Oh, I wish I was in Nigeria where they would jump and get excited. I was in one meeting preaching. It should be in Kaduna, in Nigeria. And I'm preaching to these university students. And, it's a hyper kind of, people are jumping, shouting, amen. And I'm thinking, are they really hearing or just... So I shouted to them, how many of you want to be fornicators? Everyone said, amen. So don't go with the hype of the meeting. Listen to the word. Praise the name of the Lord. So he says, every branch in me that beareth fruit, he taketh away. That does not bear fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that bears fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. May fruit be seen after this conference. Amen. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abides in the vine, no more can you, except you abide in me. Underline verse 4, that's where I'll be teaching from. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. That's where a bigger amen can be. Amen. Yeah. We do not produce fruit because of experience in ministry. And I want us to draw us back to something that is wonderful. If a man abideth not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them, and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me, emphasis. How many times you have said abide in me? If you abide in me, not in church, you can have a seat in church and not have a place in him. Amen. Amen. And I will not be famous today. But since I'm leaving tomorrow, I'm sad. All right, let's just make sure that you seated on the chair has also a place in him. If you abide in City Family Church, my words will abide in you. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, if you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. 100% prayer answer. Amen. You're struggling with answered prayer, that's the solution. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. As the Father have loved me, so I have loved you. Continue in my love. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command.
Amen.
May the Lord bless the reading of his word.
Amen.
I was in a meeting where I was introduced very flamboyantly by this excited man of God, where he gives what the Lord has done by you or in you or through you before they know your name. I think he was feeling for me that this is a nice, handsome, well-dressed black man. And I was where there are all these people, he thought they may not receive me, so the best way I think to catch them was to give a CV of the works God has done. He was trying his best, but the Holy Ghost has a way of advertising himself.
Amen.
And so he goes, we have a wonderful man of God from Zambia. He has seen 5 people raised from the dead in his ministry, and blind eyes have opened. He has a wonderful, thriving ministry, an international preacher, preachers in conferences. Then he mentioned one American prophet, I love that man, Chuck Pierce. And he says, if you know Chuck Pierce, you may know him. I said, oh, that's really pushing it. I was only saying Chuck Pierce, but at the end of the day, a young man came and said, son, I want this supernatural life. I also want to see the dead raised and miracles happen and signs and wonders performed. How long shall I pray? What should I turn on? What should I do or not do? I'm so thirsty to see God working in me and all these things happen. At least even a quarter of what you have said has happened in your life. I looked at him with so much love and humility. I said, no matter what you have heard, the supernatural life is an outflow of an abiding life.
Amen.
Amen.
Did you hear what I said?
Amen.
The supernatural life is an outflow of an abiding life. It has nothing to do with the hours spent in prayer to see a miracle. It has everything to do with how well your heart is postured in Christ himself.
Amen.
And so we have a big problem back in Africa because many wonderful preachers, prophets, apostles, evangelists, teachers, and all the fivefold are trying very hard to perform something so they can excite the people and please the people and meet the expectations of the people. As a result, they have begun to go in a lot of errors. We have prophets down in South Africa that are making people eat grass. Others are using insecticide to cast out demons. They spray insecticide on the people. Others are performing magic money. Others, they have top-up suddenly performed. It's in your phone. Your phone was 0 credit, and then suddenly there is, and others, they want to see what the women are wearing. I see you're wearing this, and this a color like this, things, personal things, and all that. And I am against such characters. Because the supernatural life, my God, the supernatural life is an outflow of an abiding relationship with Christ.
Amen.
And so we have those that are using divination. Others that are using all kinds of tricks, magicians. because the people want a miracle. It reminds me of the day that Jesus said, this generation demands for what? Signs and what? Wonders, but the only sign you see is my what? Resurrection.
Amen.
In other words, I am a firm believer in the miracles, signs and wonders. I do believe in prosperity. You can see why. But I think it's important to have the right foundations for everything.
Amen.
2 weeks ago, I was in America, Pittsburgh, and Maryland, and Washington, and I have seen televised ministry in America, where ministry is just to catch the people so they can draw crowds and things like that. And I'm thinking, where is the Jesus in all this that's happening? I'm not hearing Jesus. I'm hearing a whole lot of things. And so what we have produced is the people that are hungry for signs and wonders, but are not patient to build an abiding relationship.
Amen. Amen.
So I want us to draw back to what is important. Miracles will happen. Wonders will happen. Great signs will be performed. But do you have the Jesus? Do you have a relationship?
Amen.
Do you have a personal intimacy? Are you acquainted with Him? What happens when there are no miracles that Sunday? Then there is an uproar among the people. The pastor has backslidden. Some who have options, they go to another church where there is another miracle happening. And so we are not producing people that are founded, that are strong. People that the Lord can send into places to do missions and do great works. Because people are coming to the Lord only to have their needs met and not their relationship built.
Amen.
I want to change that today in someone's heart. The Lord is calling you to something deeper than just fixing your problems. The Lord is calling you to a level of intimacy and depth. Whether you have ministry or you don't have ministry, it begins with the Master. In Pittsburgh, they took me to where Catherine Kuhlman used to stay and do ministry, and I was watching and I says, what was in their heart? You know, she was a very strange woman when you look at her. What was in her heart? That you could see the passion and the love. The Jesus, the mention of the Jesus. No two words can pass without mentioning the Master is here.
Amen.
You can see this is someone who has a foundation of a built relationship with the one he's talking about. But that is missing in our time today. We have many psychologists in the pulpits. But the life of God that must change and transform the nations is missing. Where is the passion? Something needs to be rekindled. So God is calling you back again to that first love.
Amen.
You find that in Africa, you may say, yeah, our churches are full and they are big. But yeah, sometimes not because they love Jesus. It's because of what Jesus is about to do for them.
Amen.
To find genuine people that simply have no motives but just to say, Lord, I love you and I want to do what you have said I must do.
Amen.
There are very few. It's an apostle from America who was on the phone and was asking me, I want to bring this group to Africa, you know, and because my friend just brought in Don McLaughlin, and so she's saying, oh, what can I do to bring this group? What do the people want? So I said, the people, they want just Jesus. If that group can sing and don't bring Jesus, I don't want them. I was a bit rude, but I was very frank. We don't need talent in Africa. We have enough. We need people with Jesus. When they sing, demons must go.
Amen.
Presidents must repent. Corruption must be broken. We want chain breakers in their voices.
Amen.
Not just the skill and the talent. So she thought about it, then she was offended for some 2 hours. Just when we were about to come, that's when it took time to come down. She could have said, yeah, you know, Pastor, just want to be honest. I was a bit offended when you said, but when I thought about it, the Holy Spirit rebuked me and says, yeah, why should I take a bunch of singers there just to sing? I want them to bring God. If they don't have a relationship with Jesus, keep them there.
Amen.
Amen. Here's something special. I have learned, Apostle Ng'ambi, that God never intended that marriage should satisfy the deepest longing of our souls.
Amen.
There are many people who feel that they may be completed as a person if they get married. Then they get married, then they find there's something else there. Why? Marriage was never meant to fill the gap in your soul. It was never meant to fulfill that. It's allowed between the two of you, a God-given thing, but it can never replace the deepest longing of your soul. God never intended that our jobs must satisfy the deepest longing of our souls. Not even your career can satisfy the deepest longing of your soul. Not even your fame or your wealth can satisfy the deepest longing of your soul. I have those younger ministers who envy my traveling and they think, if I cannot just be like you. So sometimes you finish a meeting and they are lining up to receive an anointing and impartation. Man of God, just give me even your necktie. All I know is I just want to be on the plane, go to this and go to that place. It's not about that. And I always tell them, fame can never satisfy the deepest longing of your soul. I've had both. I have seen power. I have seen miracles. But even then, miracles can never replace the deepest longing of your soul.
Amen.
The deepest longing of your soul can only be fulfilled by Him who is able to destroy that soul. That's Jesus alone.
Amen.
So no matter how much God uses you, you cannot outgrow your authority. Jesus still remains the authority. Jesus still remains the only one who must be on our lips. No matter what has come out of us, the fruit they have seen, the testimonies they have heard, Jesus still must take the central place in our lives.
Amen.
Our songs, central in our worship, central in our family, central in our marriages, central in our working places, central in our career. Nothing must take the priority of His place in our lives.
Amen.
We need to come back there once again, where we love Jesus, where we can spend time just worshiping and not crying out for our own personal needs. It's just His own place. But falling back in love with Jesus again.
Amen.
You know, we are itinerary preachers. We are in one place, one place, one place, one place. And we prepare sermons to preach there, prepare sermons to preach there. Until the Lord rebuked me and said, yeah, you get ready and you get organized. That's fine. But how do you know what I want to say if you have not been with me to hear what I want to say?
Amen.
Hello?
Amen.
So in Maryland, I taught the word. But even when I was teaching, I was like, oh Lord, why are you making me say all these things? I won't be famous here anymore. But nonetheless, I said it. You know, it's a teaching, but you know, it's just by the Holy Ghost. And then you go back to, I felt like going back to my hostel and saying, yeah, trying to, maybe I was very hard with your people. And then he looks at me and says, Pastor, this is what we need. God to detail spoke the condition of the church. I have people that appeared to church without the tool, the Bible. And there was nothing wrong. They looked comfortable. And I asked them a question. When you go to work, are you going to go like that? You will find the tools that you use for your work. And you can't find the tool that you need for the one that takes care of your life. Amen. The one that pays your labors. You find the tools and you're well organized. And you are on time and you represent yourself very well to the one that pays your labors. But the one that takes care of your life. Because when you had that accident, it was not your salary or your wages that protected you. It was a divine hand from somewhere that kept you from dying. When there was that sickness of your child, it was not your wages that protected you. It was divine intervention by apostolic prayer. They gathered and they prayed and somehow you revived.
Amen.
Now we're asking, Lord, what has happened? Where is the passion of this generation? That our forefathers were sprinters, but when they handed them a baton of the gospel, we start walking. What has happened? Where is the passion? And sometimes I tell God, please, Lord, if there is something apostle I pray for is, I don't pray for those to open to go and preach. The Lord knows. I said, Lord, please don't send me. That if he sends me, it's because there is destiny in that place. Amen. God wants to fix someone's heart.
Amen.
I'm praying for you today. That Psalms 42 verse 1 says, oh my God, may someone never sleep tonight. May God commune with you on your bed. May God take you to those songs that you used to sing when you just got born again, to the zeal that you had, to that love fellowship that you'd enjoy in early hours with the Maker. He says to the chief musician Mishal, for the sons of Korah, as the deer panteth after the water brooks, so my soul longs after thee, O God. Verse 2 says, my soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? Amen. My tears have been my meat day and night, while they continually say unto me, where is thy God? They were teasing him. Where is thy God? This man's heart and longing was to be in the presence of God. I just want to be where you are, dwelling daily in your presence.
Amen. Yes, Jesus.
I feel like crying over souls here tonight. But we must get back there. If only you can get back there, it shall be well. If only you can get back there. David prayed, Lord, I'd rather be just at the gates into your palace there. Just at the gate is enough, oh God. But we have a privilege not to remain at the gates. Jesus has done much more. The curtain has been broken. You can be right in the presence of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Creator of the universe. Him who has no beginning can be right there and hear him. When he calls me, I will answer. I'll be somewhere listening for my name. There are very few people who are now in this generation listening for the Lord's calling. We are overwhelmed by what's happening in our generation. May God again target our hearts and pull us back there. So your union with the Lord is not a work of human wisdom or human will, but an act of God. There was a reason why God had to apprehend your life. There was a reason why God had to seek you out. And He shows us in the verses we read that the vine, without the vine, the branch can do nothing. I have to repeat that. Without the vine, the branch can do nothing. There's a prayer I've learned from my father. He always prays when he misses all the pastors. He says, sons, I'm praying for you that you must go and do more than I have ever done. And then he goes back and says, my father, without you, I can do nothing. Without you, I am nothing. And then, before some years ago, I used to think that he has got something wrong with his self-esteem. Why does he say, without you I can do nothing? Without you I am nothing. Because there you are, as a young growing minister, I would get up, study my Bible, pray in tongues, get up and go and get certain things done. But he would not do that. He will spend more time communing before he goes to do things. Until one day I was driving him in Zimbabwe in some meeting, and he says, son, I want you to know something. The supernatural is not accidental. When you learn how to abide in Him, you will suck up everything that is in Him. When you go out among the people, that is what shall flow out of you. Amen. Then I understood His wisdom. That He tarried in the presence, not because He wanted to go and have a sermon to preach, but because He wanted the Lord to make Him the message. Amen. Clinton once said they admired America. I think she was in the Middle East, and they were admiring America, a great country, and all of us know that. And they asked her what has made America great and all this, and she said something that I've never forgotten. She says, you see, the greatness of any nation is not in what it can do or what it has. The greatness of any nation is in what it has become by example. And then she preached to me. She doesn't know. Maybe when we meet, I'll tell her that you already preached to me just that statement. Because the example speaks better than anything you say. The message can be prepared, but if the message, you have not lived it yourself, it is empty, it is nothing. It is useless.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
And so I learned now how to not go into the Bible for the sake of drawing something to go and fix other people with from the pulpit. I learned to say, this is a great place of great responsibility. Let me not preach from my archives of study. Let me preach from what you have done. That's an example of life in Christ.
Amen. Amen.
One day they put me among all these great bishops, and I was the only pastor. All these elderly fathers of the nations, and we were having prayers for the nation. So they all had converged in the stadium. The stadium was packed, and I was not even scheduled to go and speak. And I didn't even think that was my platform. And I was driving going to the stadium and this senior of those all called and said, Sam, where are you? I said, I'm driving to the stadium. I says, quickly, you are going to be the one to open. I said, what? With all the national cameras, I says, yeah, you are the one, all of us have said you are the one who's going to open because of your grace. So I went up there. Can you imagine all of these are standing and waiting? I felt like David, finding all the elders standing, waiting. I'm saying, Lord, I didn't even pray to seek your mind. What am I going to say? The whole stadium is waiting. There are all these politicians. How do I pray for the nation? But in that time, it shall be given you by the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I'm trying to show you is, the fact is, you don't go in Jesus, then come out when you are at work. Then when there is revival, then you come back in. When there is a conference like this, then you are marching in. Then tomorrow again, you slide back to your secular job as so called. There's nothing secular when you are there. Are you understanding? So we have this thing of waiting for specified calendars. So we can have a revival. And it's not sustainable when there is no abiding relationship after that. Thank God I'm leaving. All those who want to beat me afterwards, please. That is the truth. So I see back home, I don't know about here, but I see back home, when there is revival, there is great preparation. People, finances, and the dress code, the choirs are dressed, they are rehearsing. The spiritual atmosphere is charged.
Amen.
When the meetings start, my God, when they say, let's pray, where you have 20,000 people praying, the whole stadium is shaking. And then I'm thinking, oh God, after all this conference, how many of these have that relationship with you? I was telling them, transformation is not just a result of prayer. It's also a change of culture. You pray a lot in Africa. You are in the mountains. Others are inventing cell phones. So you are 12 days in the mountain. Pray. To come to England, some must lie about their bank statements because the embassies have put stringent measures. And I'm saying, look, this is not what is about. If Jesus is real, America has the same Jesus. Canada has the same Jesus. England has the same Jesus. India has the same Jesus. Even Africa is the same Jesus. But why are we the bottom end of everything? Because we have spiritualized everything.
Come on.
While he must be studying, he is busy praying. Divide your time, I teach them. Divide your time. The pastors, they want offerings and tithe from the church. I said, no. You are young. Go and work. Go have a job. Show them an example that you are not a lazy man in the pulpit. Go and work. Educate yourself. So you can converse properly with the rest. So they are using spirituality, so-called, to run away from responsibility. And I say, it's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be an example at home. You cannot be the man praying in tongues and beating your wife at home. It's not supposed to be like that. So get back to being an example. Many don't like that message back home. But nonetheless, we are pushing it. Bringing orderliness back once again. So look, if Jesus is real, and the president calls you to go and advise him, don't go out there expecting first the dollars. No, go there and speak the heart of God. Don't compromise yourself before him. And it's missing because many are afraid because they don't have a relationship that can cover them when they say hard things to kings.
Come on.
I pray today the Holy Spirit shall follow you in your bedroom, in your kitchen. As you drive, the Holy Ghost shall speak and minister to you. Says, I have missed you. I want you. By the time we come here, there will be nothing like, can the song come? You'll be worshiping God right down where you are seated there. Because you are so full of an expression to tell to your lover. That when they come up here, it shall be an extension of what's already inside of there. And together shall be a communion of worship. When the servants of the Lord come to minister here, there will be an outflow of the supernatural, both spoken and heard and manifested.
Amen. Praise God.
Touching lives, making a difference.
Amen.
So, your union is not human wisdom. It's not even human will, but an act of God. Without the vine, the branch can do nothing. To the vine, it owes its right in the place of a vineyard. It's a privilege to even stand here and speak. It's not anything. It's something that the Lord does.
Amen.
To the vine, the branch owes its life and its fruitfulness. In Swaziland, there are these wonderful men who are talking about how many people are in your church now. What car do you drive? I was disappointed. I was just with my father scolding him. But they are talking about how many. What's the size of your church? Huh. You are meeting the person for the first time. I thought you're supposed to ask their name. How's your family? But how many church members do you have? What car are you driving? And my father is a very humble man. He says, I drive what Jesus has given me. And they really looked down on him. They thought he's just, he's a quiet man, so you can really look down on me. On him. So what his wisdom was, they spoke and they were flamboyant and they preached all kinds of things. And so he said, all right. Then he called them. So when they flew in and they came for the conference, when they saw, then respect came.
Yes.
You never know who you are talking to. All these things is only what Jesus does in us and through us.
Yes.
The praise goes back to him.
Amen.
I'm saying so because I know God will transform some lives here. Some engineers here will have powerful contracts. Things will happen. And when you have become a big shot, humble yourself and say, without the vine, I could not have produced. This could not have come. This is a result of a connection. That's why I have these connections in my life. You point back to your connection, to your place of contact. This is where it all began. And when you are like that, you will be able to sustain the fruitfulness. You will grow from one thing to the next.
Amen.
I've seen people who God has used and have ended up backsliding. Preaching heresy. Afterwards. After being used by God. Why? It got to them. They lost their connection in their heart and in their mind. They reached a place where experience now was speaking. They know how to divide and dissect the word and how to bring it up in 3.7. But they lost something. And the church suffers because of what we have lost in the Lord. Not because the world is crazy. No. We have lost something. We have lost that intimacy. That one-to-one. Away from the church walls, away from the conference,